Welcome to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo. Brought to you by Coastal Appliances, Island Automotive, Somerset Mortgage, The Emerald Princess, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care and Media Care, Misty's Element Massage, Jenkins Nissan, and by Loco's Grill and Pub. Now here's the voice of the Glynn Academy Red Terrors, Kevin Price.
Welcome to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kevin Price on location at Loco's Grill and Pub. We are here each and every week on Sunday night at 6:30. This segment, the Rocky Hidalgo Show, is sponsored by Island Automotive, Coastal Appliances, The Emerald Princess, Somerset Mortgage, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care, Immediate Care, Misty's Element Massage, Jenkins Nissan, Magic 105.9, and Locos. And now with us, the head coach of the Glynn Academy Red Terrors, Coach Rocky Hidalgo. Coach, obviously we got a good crowd out here tonight. Some NFL fans watching the games here at Locos. A big crowd for Glynn Academy has turned out. And obviously the word of the night, I guess, is big. Glynn Academy with a big 35-34 overtime win over Drew this past Friday night in the first round of the state 5A playoffs. That win allows Glynn to go to 8-3 on the season. And, of course, most importantly, and obviously, Glynn will now move on to the second round of the state playoffs, the Sweet 16, if you will, and will play Creekside this coming Friday night up in Metro Atlanta again. And, Coach, obviously a crazy, wild, thrilling game. I don't really know where to start, but I'll turn it over to you right now and just say the obvious, a big win for Glynn Academy.
Yeah, it was. I think it's, a lot of things went into it. I think, one, we dug a hole for ourselves. We turned the ball over 4 times, 3 times inside the 20-yard line. You generally don't do that against good teams and win. I think the big part of it was our players didn't quit. Our coaches didn't panic. We kept coaching. We felt like we had a good game plan. We kept coaching our game plan, calling the same plays. Defensively, we kind of hung in there. We tackled a little better in the second half. They put the ball on the ground. And, at the end of the day, that was it. Our kids just hung in there, and they played hard. And we made a play. And, we talk to our kids all the time about winners make things happen. Our kids, we had kids that made plays that allowed us to climb back in the game. And it was it was a group effort.
No doubt about it. And, Coach, we're going to kind of talk about those plays and just talk about how this thing unfolded kind of play-by-play there, particularly in the second half and in the overtime. But kind of a big picture question. Was this kind of all about your kids' will to win? I know you said your kids are resilient, and you've said that before this year, and I think maybe this win really proves it. But does this also say something about the progress that your staff and your team has made together to be able to be down on the road 28-13 going into the fourth quarter and somehow find a way to win?
It does. It also says we're not a finished product because we turned the ball over 4 times and we missed some tackles and blew some coverages and we made mistakes. And so it is a process. And, I told the kids after the game, this is about going back again and focusing on us. Let's work on us. Let's improve, be better next Friday night. Creekside's got a really good football team. And, we've got to cut out the mistakes and we have to tackle better if we're going to have a chance to win the game.
All right, and let's start at the beginning. I noticed in another interview you did on a local show yesterday morning, you talked about being able to handle the trip this week, and I didn't know if that was in reference to maybe you not exactly handling the trip very well or something you didn't like going back to the beginning. I just kind of maybe assumed because you did get down 21-7 in the first half. Did you think maybe you didn't get off the bus ready to play?
No, I don't. I think our kids were excited to play. I think anytime you make mistakes, it's generally a focus problem. And it's hard. A lot of our kids, we've got a lot of kids on the team that have never, they haven't been to a lot of places. And going to Atlanta on a bus is a big trip for them. We stopped off at Mercer University and walked around a college campus. For a lot of our kids, it was the first time they've ever been on a college campus. And I think those things are important. I think our kids were really excited to play. I think maybe our focus wasn't where it needed to be. Perhaps that is, but maybe it was a cold ball. The way the ball bounced, that we got hit and the ball came out. Maybe, football's a funny game, and I think our kids were ready to play the game. I think we had a great week of practice. I think emotionally they were ready to play. we just made some mistakes. And Drew has a very good football team. Offensively, they have an exceptional football team. It's as good a football team as we played on the offensive side. Their offensive line is right there with Coffey's as being one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. And their skill players are really good. That was the best back we faced all year long, their tailback. So it is a lot had to do with those guys. I mean, and we made mistakes early. They made mistakes late. It would have been easy for our kids to quit. We had plenty of opportunities, but they didn't. They kept playing, and they fought. I mean, that was at the end of the day, you want your kids, regardless what they do, you want them to go out there and play their tails off and fight to win. If we'd have lost, if they'd have hit the field goal, I'd have still been proud of them because of the way they fought back and played.
No doubt about it. This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. And, Coach, let's go to halftime now. You're down 21-7. Your defense have given up some big plays. You had moved the ball, but you turned it over inside their territory a couple of times in the first half. You lost your quarterback in the first half. So at halftime, what is your speech to the team? I mean, just keep playing, keep fighting?
Yeah, I mean, that was it. We drove all the way up here to play 48 minutes. Let's play 48 minutes. That was essentially it. It was everything that had happened to us was self-inflicted. I mean, between the turnovers defensively, we missed 2 tackles on a long touchdown run. We blew a coverage. We jumped off sides on 4th and 4 and gave them a first down. I mean, those were the 3 scoring drives. And, my message at halftime was let's do the things we're supposed to do and get back in the game. And, it's not exactly how you script it. You want to drive up there and win 50-0, but, it's this time of year is survive and advance. And really I think our kids are really excited to have a chance to play another game. And it really is who wants to play another week. That's a huge factor into the playoffs. I think our kids are excited about going out to practice and excited about driving up to Atlanta again and going to play ball. We'll see what happens.
Now, obviously, when Zach Lamper got hurt, he comes back out on crutches, I think, so we know he's done in the second half. But talk about the play of Justin Larson, just coming in that kind of situation, having not taken many snaps all year, and to manage the game offensively and help you get the job done. Yeah,
we've got a couple of options there. Justin, obviously, we could put DJ there. The problem if we put DJ at quarterback, DJ doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. That's he's our top guy out there at wide receiver. I've been in a situation where our best athlete's quarterback, and he can only throw it to himself so many times. Justin did a great job coming in the game. He hung in there. He did what he was coached to do. He made a lot of good reads, distributed the ball, and played a good football game. He did, and that was good to see. He was a kid that he's put a lot of time and effort, put himself in a situation to help us win. I think everybody was really excited that we did that with a backup quarterback, and they feel good regardless what happens with Zach. I think Justin gives us hope that we can go back in next week and do the same thing. Hopefully Zach's ankle will be healed up and ready to go, but ankle injuries are funny. We'll have to see how it goes and how he takes to therapy.
So right now, Zach Lamper would be listed as questionable if this were the NFL. Is that correct?
Yeah. If I was Les Miles, I wouldn't tell you. I don't want the betting line to. He's got an ankle sprain and he was sore. The swelling had gone down a little bit. But he's banged up, and we'll just have to see. He kind of got hung in there underneath the pile, and he got knocked backwards, and his foot stayed in the turf. So it is what it is. We just have to play with who we have. We can't do a whole bunch about those things.
All right. Well, there's more to come here on the Coach Rocky Hidalgo Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, these words from our sponsors.
For all of your automotive repair needs, visit Island Automotive, 1950 Demery Road, across from the fire station on St. Simon's Island. They're a family-owned and operated business that has been delivering great service not only to St. Simon's, but to all of Southeast Georgia for over 25 years. Your complete auto repair and auto detailing facility. Online at islandautomotivecenter.com or at 912-638-0888. And go Terrors! Coastal Appliances is your one-stop shop for Whirlpool washers and dryers, Whirlpool refrigerators, and so much more. Coastal Appliances offers free delivery and service after installation and have also been in business for over 30 years. 4727 Altama, next to Sonic, and on the web at appliancesbrunswickga.com, or give them a call at 912-267-0132. Coastal Appliances, Glynn County's only specialty appliance store.
We got to Hop aboard for Texas Hold'em tournaments, roulette, poker, lots of slot action, food, music, and more. Labor Day weekend, Sunday, August 31st, 7 p.m. Cruises depart from Brunswick, Georgia. Call 800-842-0115 or visit EmeraldPrincessCasino.com. Must be 18 years of age and present a government-issued photo ID to board.
I'm Jenkins Nissan.
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 I am Jenkins Nissan.
I'm Donnie Jenkins. We're all Jenkins Nissan, and together we want to show you just how easy buying and servicing your car should be. So please, stop by and experience the Jenkins Nissan difference. Look for the red and white Nissan tent at the corner of Chapel Crossing Road and the Spur, or visit us online at jenkinsnissanofbrunswick.com.
Welcome back to the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kevin Price. We're on location at Loco's Grill and Pub on St. Simon's. This segment brought to you by Island Automotive, Coastal Appliances, Jenkins Nissan, Magic 105.9, and the Emerald Princess. And Coach, just one more question about the offense with Larson in. Did you pretty much run what you would have run with Lamper in there? Or did you have to kind of tailor things to maybe what Larson's strengths are?
Well, we didn't run the quarterback as much as we usually would because, once you're down to your backup, you go to your backup, and it starts really affecting things. But we ran our offense. I mean, Justin does a great job. He sits in the film sessions. He doesn't get as many reps at practice as Zach does, but he sits in the film sessions. He studies a lot of film. He at 1:30 in the morning, he texted Coach Jackson about Douglas. Hey, if they line up like this 3-by-1, we should be able to do this. He's a guy, he studies tape, and he's excited. I mean, he's a competitor. When he got hit in the interception, he threw an interception because we missed a protection and he got hit. I mean, he didn't shy away. He went and slammed that guy to the ground. And I think that, as much as anything, I mean, little things like that are things that kids believe in, they buy into. Our kids got excited by the way he tackled that kid. Everybody's disappointed we threw an interception, but, man, I mean, he ran in there and slobber knocked that guy. And it's, so we hope to have Zach back. If we don't, we'll play with Justin. He'll go and do a great job, and we'll have an opportunity to win the game.
Now let's talk about where this game really got exciting. In the fourth quarter, in an overtime, you're down 28-13. You make the score 28-20 on, I think, a short screen pass to Garrison Hurd that goes for a 54-yard touchdown. And then at the end of the game, they're driving again with possibly a chance to put it away, and I think it was Hurd that caused the fumble to get the ball back for you. So there's Garrison Hurd making two big plays in a row to give yourself a chance. Some other guys are going to make some plays later on, but Hurd impacted the game back-to-back right there. Yeah,
Garrison did a great job. And, again, I said, it was about winners make things happen. And that was something that he kind of willed himself to do that. I think Coach Jackson did a great job. It was something he had seen in game planning that we were going to have an opportunity on the swing. They were going to match up in man-to-man, and we could kind of get the defender lost in the confusion there. We missed it earlier in the game. We came back to it, and it was a great call, and Garrison took the ball and just – I didn't realize he could run that fast, to be honest with you.
I've said all season he's got deceptive speed, yeah.
But he took it down the sideline, took it to the house. And, at that point in time, I felt real good about our chances,
So you're 28-20. You get the ball back again. We're just kind of going through things real quickly here. But big pass play from Larson to LaShawn Clark sets up your tying touchdown. Talk about what happened on that play. 60 yards, I think, or so.
Yeah, again, it was Justin really did a nice job of sorting things out and throwing things on time. And they play a lot of man coverage, and when you get the ball out on time against man coverage, you have a chance for big plays. And that's what happened. Sean did a great job coming down with the football, and again, it was players making plays, and we got down there and gave us an opportunity to get the win.
You're listening to the Rocky Hidalgo Coaches Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. And, Coach, after that play, of course, you're still down by 2. You do bring DJ Dallas in at the quarterback slot, and he runs it around right in and makes an athletic play for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, it was. And that was something we kind of talked about. We felt like we could run the quarterback counter and stick it in there. It was a good call. Most people probably would have thrown the ball. But, it was something we felt like we had an opportunity to really block them down and kick them out. And DJ bounced it out and got it in the end zone. And it was all downhill from there.
And at 28-28 going to overtime, of course, they miss a field goal opportunity there at the end of regulation. But you said you felt good. You had the momentum at that point. Did you really feel like you had them on their heels going into OT?
I'm undefeated in overtime.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
I got to overtime. I looked at the team and said, we're going to win this. I didn't tell them that. I just when we get to overtime, I just feel like that's my time. I do. I've always, for whatever reason, my teams have always played well in overtime, probably because I've had good teams. Be honest with you, it has nothing to do with me, but I get excited by it. I mean, when we scored to tie it, it was just, honestly, when they fumbled, I started laughing. I knew we were going to drive down and score, and we were going to tie the thing up. And once we got to overtime, I felt comfortable. Our kids, we would find a way. I felt like we could block the kick. We had missed it a couple times. Just sometimes you just have a feeling about things, and it comes to fruition.
Well, all these people care about is the fact that you're 1-0 in the postseason at Glynn. But what is your overtime record, just for the record?
I think I'm like 5-0 or something in overtime. It's something like that. It's my first game I coached, the head coach, was an overtime win with a blocked field goal to win against Norcross in the Georgia Dome. A block extra point, very similar kid by the name of Kyle Westman who plays at Vanderbilt, blocked the extra point. And he told me, he's like, Coach, I blocked that one for you. I was like, thanks, man. I appreciate it. So I'll take it. And I've just been fortunate in overtime. I think a lot of goes into coaching in tight games, and I've learned this. It's my first year coaching with Coach Jackson. Coach Jackson is very similar to me in tight games. I don't panic in tight games. I relish the opportunity to coach when something's on the line and in big games, and kind of the tighter games get. To me, I enjoy it more. I don't really enjoy blowout games. I don't. When we're beating somebody 50-0, it is boring to me. It really is. And to go in and have that opportunity to compete with something on the line like that, I think it's neat. And our coaching staff didn't panic. Our players didn't quit. And I just had a real good feeling about it.
And let's talk about overtime. Most teams, I think, usually when they win the coin toss would defer and take the ball second. But Drew took the ball first, if I'm not mistaken. Did that surprise you at all, that they would take the ball first?
Be honest with you, I was talking to somebody. I didn't see if they won it or not. I know if they won and took the ball first, I thanked them because, but generally I would I would play defense, elect to play defense first. And frankly, be honest with you, I talked to Coach Jackson. If they scored and kicked the extra point, they had made the extra point, we were going to go for two. We felt like we had a good opportunity. We had a good play that we could run on for the 2-point conversion and end the thing. So we were going to try to end it at the end of the first overtime anyway. I wasn't going to sit there and try to play all night. I was freezing.
Okay, so they score, go up by 6, but Hunter Hull comes right through and blocks the extra points, which, of course, proves to be big. You mentioned that you got close a couple of times, but I saw the film before we showed up here for the show tonight, and I don't think they blocked him whatsoever. He just came right through the line.
No, and that was really Coach Imperial, our special teams coordinator, did a great job game planning that. He saw it on tape, that we could overload and stick. Basically, it was a 3-man block. The way they were protecting on the left side, that one of those guys were going to come through. Early in the game, we had kind of come a step too wide and jammed two guys in the same gap. It had opened up, and it was there the whole night. We just weren't quite running it right. He had talked to him before the overtime about it, and he basically told the two inside guys, one of you guys are going to go free. Go where you're supposed to go. Hunter did what he was supposed to do, came scot-free, and he blocked it, I think, with his belly button, so it wouldn't have mattered. But that's a great job by Jeff Imperial. That's a product of coaching, film work, what we do on Sundays, film work, and then coaching kids to do the right thing. And at the end of the day, he coached throughout the game, and we missed it, then we got it. It was a big play in the game. That's a mark of a really good coach.
All right, we're going to come back and finish out the overtime, let you know how Glynn Academy did win the game, and we'll talk about the Creekside game coming up this Friday night on the other side of this break. We'll be right back with the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo here on the Bishop Media Sports Network.
Relax. Misty's Element Massage specializes in helping you do just that. Located at 138 Village Market on St. Simon's Island, Misty's Element Massage offers deep tissue massages, therapeutic massages, scrubs, creams, body wraps, and much more. The perfect gift for that special someone, not to mention sports massages for that aching muscle. Schedule your appointment today at 912-224-0198 or on the web at mistyselement.com.
Bruce Kennedy Tire is your hometown destination for tires. Michelin, Goodyear, and all the brands you trust. But don't let the name fool you. Bruce Kennedy Tire, located at 2928 Norwich Street, does more than just tires. Brakes, alignments, repair work, and more than I can mention. Bruce Kennedy is locally owned and operated, so you get the best service in Glynn County. So give Bruce a call at 912-264-6578. Bruce Kennedy Tire, a name you can trust. Get affordable health care when you need it. At Apple Care Immediate Care, our team of compassionate healthcare providers is dedicated to treating each patient with the highest standard in healthcare. Located at 1111 Glencoe Parkway, Apple Care is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Apple Care welcomes all walk-ins from pediatric to adult ages and accepts most insurance plans. Visit us at applecaredoctors.com and like us on Facebook.
Hello, Glynn Academy Red Terror fans. It's an exciting time of the year when football season starts. It's also an exciting time of the year if you are buying a home and need a great mortgage team on your side. The smart folks at Somerset Mortgage will help you lock in the best rates and closing costs, but more importantly, they have the patience and expertise you need to get you to the closing table. Call Somerset to find out more. 638-2020, conveniently located next to Outback on St. Simon's. Somerset, 638-2020.
It's time to get together with friends and family to enjoy great games, great food, and a great atmosphere at Loco's on St. Simon's Island. Loco's has something for everyone with their classic sandwiches, fresh salads, and specialty burgers. And Loco's award-winning wings, from traditional boneless or slow roasted, means it's time to get your wings on. With football season starting, don't forget to catch the game at Loco's too. Be sure to like Loco's on Facebook to keep up with the latest. Have your friends meet you at the Moose.
Welcome back to the Glynn Academy Red Terror Coaches Show with head coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm Kevin Price. We're on location at Loco's Grill and Pub on St. Simon's. This final segment brought to you by Misty's Element Massage, Bruce Kennedy Tire, Apple Care, Immediate Care, and Somerset Mortgage. So, Coach, you're down 6 in OT. You need a touchdown and then a PAT to win it, and you did this just that. But you go to Garrison Hurd 6 straight times, if I counted it correctly. He converts a 4th and 2 and keeps the drive alive. Then he carries it into the end zone 2 plays later. Talk about going to Hurd 6 straight times in OT. Was that going to be the approach when you sent the offense out?
Well, you know, the whole thing we wanted to do is we felt like we could get it's tough to stop somebody if they want to get 10 yards in 4 plays. And that really was kind of what we had looked at. We felt like we could kind of keep getting 2.5, 3 yards and get down there to a 4th and short, pick up the first. And I mean, a lot of people probably sitting around, that doesn't sound like a lot of magic, but it's just logic. I mean, if we were having success running the football, we were kind of getting a hat on a hat. We hadn't given up a lot of negative plays except on a couple of bad snaps. So we felt like we could really just kind of drive it in there and get 2 or 3 yards a pop and get a chance to get in there, pick up the first, and then have 4 plays down from the 4 or 5 yard line. And that's kind of that was the scripted way. It's not rocket science. I mean, there's the old adage, keep it simple, stupid. It's coaches that generally mess up players. So we didn't want to mess anything up.
No, I agree with you. No doubt about it. And then Scout Churchwell comes on and kicks the PAT. Of course, no pressure because if he does miss, you're going to another overtime. But obviously, that's the biggest kick he's ever made.
Yeah, you know, it was good. And anytime, you know, a lot of people want to talk about like wet balls and stuff like that. Cold footballs are really hard. It's hard to snap. They're hard to hold, and they're hard to kick. And so, I mean, that seems like a very simple play. But it wasn't. I mean, it was a big play in the game. I mean, it took 3 things had to go on to get that through the upright. So, you know, on a cold night, I hate the kicking game on the cold night. We had a couple of opportunities. If it had been warmer, we probably would have kicked some field goals where we had 4th downs and, you know, in the 47, 46-yard field goal range. On a warm night, we probably would have tried field goals. But just when it's cold like this, the ball just doesn't fly. We felt like probably we could probably get down to about a 40, 41 is where we felt real comfortable. just the ball just gets heavy. It's hard as a rock, and you can see it when they punt. The ball doesn't come off their foot when they punt, when they kick off. So it was something that I was glad to get it over with once we kicked it.
All right, so, Coach, you get the win. We'll move on to Creekside here in a moment, but obviously I kind of ask you every week what's the health of the football team. We all know that Zach Lamper is questionable right now, but you mentioned to me in a break that you had several guys kind of nicked and banged, and that's kind of to be expected, but you mentioned that it was a physical football game, so you're going to have a lighter practice to start the week tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to do a really a hard teaching day with the kids, and we're not going to bump around too much. We might just go helmets only. We've been doing this for a long time, and the most importantly is to get them to the game on Friday. Adrian Cross kind of doinked his knee up a little bit there. He's a little swollen and sore, and I think he'll be ready to go for Friday night. But he's got some pain in his knee right now, and DJ Dallas is another one. DJ played a lot of snaps, and he was sore from the tip of his toes to the top of his head. Garrison was another one. He was kind of sore over there. Cordero's got rolled up on an ankle injury. So we had some guys all over the place that kind of got in, and we've got some boo-boos all over. So we'll give them a light day tomorrow, and we really want to focus on what to do tomorrow, and then come back with 2 good practices on Tuesday and Thursday.
This is the Glynn Academy Coaches Show with Coach Rocky Hidalgo on the Bishop Media Sports Network. And, Coach, now let's talk about Creekside, the Seminoles. 9-2 on the season, 44-27 winners in the first round over New Manchester. And last year, the Seminoles won the state title with a 15-0 record. So, obviously, the task does not get any easier this Friday night.
Yeah, somebody told me that they don't look nearly as good this year as they did last year. I'm glad I didn't have to look at video of them last year, because they have 4 offensive linemen with major college offers, and then they have a guy sitting on the bench that's been offered by Tennessee who blots out the sun. So they are a big, very big football team. In a lot of ways, very similar to us in what they do offensively. A lot of the same concepts that we run offensively, they do. Their tailback and quarterback are very good. They've got a couple of wide receivers that can really go get the ball. So offensively, they're comparable to Drew. Defensively, it might be the best defense we've played since we played Ware. They're 4 down. They put their hand in the ground. They come off the ball real well. They've got tremendous speed in the back 7. They break on balls. They tackle well, very physical. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us. We're gonna have to get over there and play well is the big thing. That being said, they've given up some points. If you look at teams, they've given up a lot of points this year. I should say a lot, but people have scored a considerable amount of points on them. So we're gonna have some opportunities in the game. Defensively, we feel like we can play a lot better than we did Friday night. And we're just gonna have to get out there and put a good game plan together, something simple our kids can do, and go out there and throw it to the wind and hope some good things happen.
And I did watch a little bit of film on them just to kind of get an idea, and you mentioned their offensive front, and I knew they looked, big and huge, and I didn't know they all had college offers, but that doesn't surprise me. But just overall, they looked like I thought they would, just an athletic football team.
Yeah, what's funny is we were watching tape, and I asked Josh Veal, I said, man, the center looks small, and he goes, Coach, he's 6'1", 245 pounds. I said, you should have just told me yes, he's small, because he looks small. They're real big up front. They are, but Drew was very big up front, and Coffee was big up front, and our kids showed up and competed against those teams. So we're going to have to play hard. We're going to have to play harder than them. And I've told the kids, great teams beat more talented teams. The best team, the most talented team, never wins the state championship. They never do, and there's always going to be somebody out there that's bigger than you, faster than you, stronger than you, smarter than you, and you have to learn to outcompete them. That's life. You're never going to, even the guy who sits on top of the world, Bill Gates, he wasn't the smartest guy. He wasn't. He wasn't. But he outworked the smartest guy, and you just have to learn to outcompete those guys, and that's what we're going to have to do Friday. They've got tons of talent. But our kids are going to have to go play harder than their kids, and we'll have to do a great job coaching and make some plays.
And you mentioned Ware and Coffee. They were the number 1 and 2 seeds out of our region, the number 1 and 2 seeds in the state. They won. You won as the 3 seed. Brunswick, the only team out of the region not to win. They were the 4 seed playing the number 1 Stockbridge, but they also played that game without their starting quarterback, Randon Jernigan. Kind of a tough situation for the Pirates. But all in all, good night for our region.
Yeah, I root for us. I'm here to tell you. I just, I know a lot of teams like it when they go out and, if they're a Georgia fan and when Alabama's beating some team from the Big Ten, they cheer SEC. I don't do that. I root for my teams and everybody else. I want us to win, and everybody else can pack their stuff up and go home. It's sad to say, but I'm selfish like that. That is what it is. I have gotten to know Coach Floyd across the road, and he and I have helped each other out. But I mean, at this time of year, I'm busy worrying about us and cheering for us. That's all the energy I have.
Totally understandable. Last week, I think you practiced under the lights a little bit out at Glynn County Stadium. Maybe it was Lanier Field. You going to do that again this week?
If not, we're going to practice in the dark. Those are the options. There are no lights. I'm not practicing in front of headlights over at the school. We can't get anything done. But, yeah, we'll go one of those places. We'll get somewhere under the lights, and we've been very fortunate that local rental place let us use some portable lights the week before, and we were able to get on the game field Monday and Lanier Field on Wednesday. So we'll probably do some of that Tuesday and Wednesday night to make sure we get a good practice in.
All right, well, Coach, we're going to let you go. We know you got a game plan to go finish up preparing and some more film to watch. So go coach the guys up this week, and let's sit here and talk about a victory in round 2 next Sunday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks to all of you for joining us, all the Glynn Academy folks that came out tonight here at Locos for the Rocky Hidalgo Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Remember, we'll be here next Sunday night, and we'll talk about this game against Creekside. The show will start at 6:30. I'm Kevin Price signing off. Have a good week, everyone.